Ooh, grab your friends, it's time to vibe. Come together, feel that rise. Watch the game while the beat flows. At the sports bar where anything goes. Laughter and joy, we're in the zone.
On the Swivel at the Sportsbar.
Cheering loud, feeling like a star. Good times, laughter, and every score. On the swivel, come back for more. Come back for more. Tasty treats and soulful sounds. Feel the rhythm is where joy's found. With every cheer we come alive. Come on in, let's thrive and jive. In this moment we find our groove. On the swivel at the sports bar.
On the Swivel at the Sportsbar.
Feeling like a star. Good times, laughter, and every score. On the swivel, come back for more. Ooh, come back for more. Ooh, come back for more. Tasty treats and soulful sounds. Feel the rhythm, it's where joy's found. Ooh, with every cheer we come alive. Come on in, let's thrive and jive. In this moment we find our groove. Ooh, on the swivel at the
Swivel at the
sports
Sportsbar.
bar. Cheering loud, feeling like a star. Feeling like a star. Good times, laughter, and every score. Every score. On the swivel, come back for more. For more. Swing on by, don't miss the fun. At the sports bar, the best begun. Best begun. Ooh, come back for more. 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 Come back for
Come back for
more.
more.
Hey, welcome to On the Swivel at the Sports Bar. Hey, this is our 50th episode, so I just, I wish I could say it's just something really special for this one, but, 50 is 50. Maybe at 52, I have something. That'll be a full year of episodes under my belt, so I'm really just trying to gear up for next year, see what I'm going to change, see what I'm going to do, and, and just let the fun continue. I mean, as long as I'm having a channel, if it always feels like at any time I could just try to find a way to change some things up. So welcome, Catelia. Some of my buddies may be up, may not be. I don't know. I try not to make, it's not a mandatory thing, but they pop in every so often. So maybe Trey Ferg will pop in. Who knows? All right. So that's a disclaimer. Of course, I like to use videos and stuff, so I don't have to do all the talking. So all right, football. It's football season, so we're going to talk football first. Hey, listen, I look at a lot of games because I watch the Red Zone channel, and I don't think there was too many upsets. I don't really call some of the games this weekend upsets. I think the teams, a lot of the games are toss-ups. So when I try to highlight an upset, it's really got to be a big upset that really matters. And I couldn't really find, the winners and losers just like any given Sunday. I didn't think anybody really was so far ahead or so far favored that they couldn't lose the game. So, but we're getting on the second half of the season where it's going to be important that all of these. Hey man, my man Ramsey's popped up here. Hey, what's going on, Ramsey? What's happening?
Payne, how you doing?
All right, man. How you feel?
Feeling good. Happy 50th show.
Yeah, man. I try. Yeah, it's going. I mean, if it's Wednesday, I'm having a show, right? If I'm here, I'm gonna do it.
There you go. There you go.
So I mean, it's just easy to put these things together, man. I mean, scouring the sports during the week, a lot of times I just, I share a lot of different things to my email that I use for information for the show during the week. So there's always something that pops up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for certain.
So it's not really that hard, man. America's full of sports. As a matter of fact, sports was good to distract, from the last few weeks of the damn election shit, man. I was so tired of listening to all that stuff, but yeah, of course the result was exhilarating, but that's another story. Anyway, hey man, so I always do a short recap. I like Colin Cowherd. He does a little short recap of a couple of teams and a couple of games where his head's at every week. So let's play that.
Caleb Williams, I knew he would go through some rookie struggles, but now he has become the most sacked quarterback in the league. With his mobility, Caleb Williams go backwards. When you have talented players, they're young, and they're getting worse, that's a coaching thing. Don't blame the kid. The ultimate sign that Detroit has arrived. I don't think Detroit wins this game 2 years ago playing like that. I don't think Detroit wins that game last year on the road against a Houston-level team playing like that. You can stink up the joint and beat C.J. Stroud and the Texans in Houston Sunday night. And here's Kansas City. So here's the best big moment team in the league. They're great third down. They're great in big moments. It's goal line stands. And that is what the really special teams do. And I've been saying this about Detroit and Kansas City now for weeks. Dallas is awful. Probably the worst team in the league. I think Carolina beats them in a couple of weeks. Philadelphia, in my opinion, has the best roster in the NFL. This team doesn't feel light anywhere. This roster, both sides, young, in their prime, older players, stacked, and you're seeing it grow. I thought the Steelers, I didn't know if this was Tomlin's last year. I didn't get it. I thought the organization was tone deaf to offense. Tomlin has been in a good mood for 3 weeks because I think Mike Tomlin knows what he has here. I was wrong. And you know what? Maybe it's Russell Wilson.
Hey, gentlemen, how you doing? What's going on, Coach Ferg? What's happening?
What's up, brother Payne? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, loud and clear. I don't know. You got your mouth up. It might be me. Your mic sounds really loud, but that's cool.
No, I'm on my phone, man.
All right, well, the phone, so that's cool. No big deal. Maybe I had my thing turned up a little bit. Hey, listen, we heard Pittsburgh is a surprise, but not as much as a surprise as Dallas is to the downside. I mean, they're really bad.
Yeah. I'm not surprised by Dallas though.
Why not?
Because
this wasn't the expectation for this year, was it?
I mean, I ain't gonna say that, but when you have players holding out and contract issues for more than one player, it creates a lot of I ain't gonna say the chemistry won't be there. Everybody has to be in training camp. And you get CD Lamb held out most of training camp. It's always an issue with the contract with Jerry.
Dak was in camp though, right? Dak was in camp.
Yeah, Dak was in camp, but
all right. Okay, he ain't playing that well.
Nah, man, it's just too much. You got pressure going into it. You got an owner always on your back. Jerry Jones need to get off the radio. He need to get off of sports talk radio.
Oh man, Trey Ferg, man, listen, man. You're not a Dallas fan, are you?
No, I ain't never been a Dallas fan.
Oh, okay, so I just want to make sure you was in batting for the wrong side. Listen, so what say you, Ramsey?
The way I look at it is, Dallas was 12-6 each of the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, they were pretty. Yeah, they were in 10-win scenario. Yeah.
Yeah. So the expectation was high, but when you've got that much money tied up in your quarterback, your receiver, and I guess Michael Parsons hasn't gotten paid yet, but when all that money's tied up in 3 players, that's tough. Now I realize a few other teams have it the same way, but it's difficult to field a good team year after year after year.
And this is true. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I think that their window is closed. I mean, when they lost to Green Bay at home in the playoffs last year, that was the end of it. I was surprised that they brought the coach back, Mike McCarthy. So this is good for him.
Okay, well, if we look at Buffalo, right? I mean, Buffalo's been pretty good for the last 3 years or so.
Correct.
Right? 3 or 4 years. I mean, they looking good this year. They paid their quarterback the bundle.
Yeah,
but But
Man,
it ain't so much that Dallas got the money tied up in the players, because if you notice, Dallas don't draft well and they don't go to free agency, and Dallas let 2 or 3 of their top linemen go this year.
okay.
But
They
they
let
almost have to, because if you've got, I don't know what the
He just
percentage
don't
is,
want to draft. If he
or
would have if he would have took Derrick Henry, all this wouldn't even be a conversation.
but he was claiming that he couldn't afford. I don't know what Derrick Henry's getting with Baltimore, but let's say it's $10
About
million.
about $8 million.
He's saying he couldn't afford him because 40% or whatever the percentage is of their cap is tied up in to 2 players.
But brother,
$8
what
million
you
ain't that much.
what you do is, our pain. You a
Yeah,
G see the problem is that he's the GM too. That's the biggest problem. Because
exactly.
a GM would have bought his star players in and said, look, I know y'all want this big money, but we got a chance to get Derrick Henry. We ain't got they let Pollard go, the starting running back.
Yeah.
We ain't got no running back. We need to get King Henry in here so we can get 1,000-yard rusher, take some pressure off you, Dak, take some pressure off you, CD. Could I give y'all both $5 million less? Problem solved.
Or defer it, right? I mean, there's ways around it, right?
Give it to them in signing bonuses. If you give it to
Yeah,
them in
something
signing
else.
bonuses,
Well, all right. So listen, okay, so that's that, right? So listen, did y'all see the San Francisco game when Debo Samuels went after the long snapper and shit?
No,
I
I
seen them
didn't see
push
that.
him. I ain't see the actual play. I've seen the after effect. When they pushed them and shit.
Yeah,
Wow,
Dick.
this is the first I'm seeing this.
Snapper in his follow through, he seems to take a little jab, a little mini punch at Jake Moody.
You know what? Man, slap that guy, man. You just a long slap,
So was the snap bad or
man. I'm
something?
making the big money
What
with the slap.
transpired?
Yeah, they messed up the snap. Well, here's a couple of fellas talking about it on this thing. I'm not gonna listen to the whole thing. I'm gonna try to move it forward, but
Came in too hot. Should we call a tow truck?
look at these fools. I get these commercials over in 10 seconds. It's longer than usual.
Protein packed and open with strong muscles. It's the most.
I'm taking me a lot of commercials on this damn. Anyway, I don't even want to go through.
Came in too hot. Should we call a tow truck?
Hell with it. Anyway, these guys are talking about it now. My man, the light skinned brother on the end, what's his name? Can't remember his name. And he's my guy too. I can't even remember his name. The one on the right.
Yeah.
He was saying that it's okay, right? Push these guys around. He says, listen, it worked because the next field goal they made it. You know what I'm saying? So that he had missed 3 field goals. The snapper had something to do with it, I think. And and Debo Samuels says, listen, man, you blowing the game, man. And so I think that was cool. So he got away with no harm, no foul because they won. So like men, you can get into each other's face, argue, fight a little bit, then you're drinking beers later on. So I think that's what that was. I didn't want to go through all those commercials. But anyhow, that was that with that. So, usually you don't see players come after the kicker and the damn long
Nah, that's a
snap.
first.
Yeah, that's really funny. I got one for you guys, man. All right, so I gotta share this with you, but y'all gotta listen closely to this call with Derrick Henry. All right, so hold on for a second. Let me share. This is a pretty humorous call. Let me see. All right, is it that one? That one. That's it right there. Okay.
First and 10. Jackson gives it to Henry. Henry getting some nice penetration.
Uh-oh, did you see that?
Looks like there's a out in Baltimore tonight, folks.
It looked like Derrick Henry's full ass was out there.
And there's a
Oh, boy. The unnecessary ass on the Ravens, Al.
Looks like the refs are getting together to discuss it.
Yeah, and they might have to take another look at this one to see if it was two cheeks or one. But it's two. Penalty for
I
two.
didn't even see that
Play
shit.
out.
That's right.
Yeah.
And all plays involving an ass are automatically reviewed by Roger Goodell himself. Look, you can see Henry. There's one. Oh, and yep, there's the other one.
I bet Diddy just licked the prison TV screen.
What do you think?
Penalty?
Well, I think it was. I mean, you just can't do that on primetime television. It's 2024. Someone will be offended.
Here's the official ruling.
Personal foul, unnecessary ass. Offense number 22. That's an automatic turnover on downs. First down, Cincinnati.
Oh, wow. So they do end up taking the penalty there.
That is a huge blow for the Baltimore Ravens.
That's too
that's
funny,
good.
man.
That's good.
That was just too funny, man.
That's a good
Pass interference, too much ass on the field, man.
Right. You remember back in the day, the players used to wear the belts, right? Remember that? They used to have the
Yeah, they sell the belts.
Yeah.
Oh,
They still
man.
wear it. They still wear belts in the lower leagues, like high school,
Right.
Pop Warner, and I think high school too. Yeah, college too. Some of them, but NFL.
Nah, no belt, no cup, nothing.
I said when I found it, I said, man, I got to put that on, man. That's funny as hell, man.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a good one. All right, so these are the games of the week coming up. I guess it's week 11, not 10, but week 11 coming up. So let's make a change on the fly. How about that? If I could. Won't even let me do it. Anyway, that's all right. All right, man. My keyboard being stubborn. Anyway, that's all right. Anyway, the Ravens and Steelers should be a good game. Right?
Yeah, it should be a good game. That should be a real
Who
good
y'all
game.
got in that one? Who y'all-
I'm gonna take the Ravens.
You think so?
I'm gonna go with the Steelers on that one. 'Cause,
Are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Ravens.
You're gonna go with the Steelers on that one?
Yeah, because the Steelers are home for one. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is playing
He's playing really well.
He's got his receivers involved. Yeah, have to go with the Steelers. When you think about it, the Ravens have lost a couple of pretty bad games. They lost to Cleveland. They lost to Oakland. Not Oakland.
But that was like, man,
Vegas.
that was early in the season, right?
Well, they lost to Cleveland, 2-3 weeks ago, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
they had lost so bad. Well, the game, remember now, they lost to Kansas City, Cleveland. So this is a big game for them. But you're right. Russell Wilson looks like he's rejuvenated, man.
Yeah.
He does, man. So that should be a good game. The Chiefs and the Bills. That's a good game. I think the Bills will beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs haven't been playing that well.
No, they haven't.
And even though they've been eking out these games, they were against lesser teams, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the Bills get them down, they ain't coming back.
Yeah. And trying to be impartial, I think it really could be a 31-17 type of game for the Bills. I really think it could be.
Yeah, because their defense ain't playing that well. Yeah, the
Right.
Chiefs defense. So what do you think, Coach?
I think Kansas City by 6.
You got Kansas City by 6?
Yeah.
Well, listen, let me tell you this. If Kansas City is gonna, first of all, if they're going for a championship for the three-peat, they got to lose in the regular season. Because if they keep looking like this, eking out these wins, that shit is going to come to an end definitely in the playoff.
But see, here's the thing about sports and even in football, they've been winning and they've been playing their best football.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
they don't win 3 games in a row and they just been eking by. But see, it's always going to be that game where they're going to click. And when they click, it's just going to be 40, 50 points a game for 2 or 3 weeks. So Buffalo has been playing steady. Everybody tries to keep up with Patrick Mahomes and what they do. So if Buffalo runs the ball, and have a balanced attack, yes. But if they come out slinging that ball around, it's going to be a long day for them. So we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, so that's a good game to watch. The Commanders and the Eagles going to be a good game.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game.
Yeah. That's tomorrow night. Yeah.
Yep. So tomorrow night, Seahawks and the 49ers. It's gonna because the Seahawks are better than we, and they're a decent team. You ain't gonna walk all over them.
Yeah,
So
but they like what? What they Seahawks are like 4-5, 4-3-7, or some shit. They done lost.
Yeah, but
I
wouldn't count them out. San Francisco just turned 500, right? They just went over 500 this week, right?
I think San Francisco go get Seattle this week, though.
Yeah, I think they'll probably win the game, but I think it's gonna be a good game. That's what I mean. And then the Bengals and the Chargers should be a good game because the Bengals ain't counting themselves out yet.
This is their season right here.
They got to win this game, right? They definitely have to win this game.
Yeah, because you got Pittsburgh and Baltimore ahead of them, so in their division, so it's going to be tough.
Yeah. So, but if you look at the wild cards, since they take 2 wild cards in or 3, but they take 3 wild cards in.
Yeah, 3 wild cards now.
Yeah, so they're still in the wild card hunt, man. They're still well within the wild card hunt because they're lucky there's 3 wild cards.
Yeah.
So
but you still got to have a record of what?
You got to at least be 500. You got to at least be. I think you got to be just 500 and have some tiebreakers.
Yeah, 9 and 8, maybe 500. Yeah.
Not in that AFC.
You can't be 500.
Right.
You can't be 500. You could be 9. I think you could even be 8, 9, depending on how it is. But maybe not in the AFC.
But not in the AFC. In the AFC, you're going to have 10 wins to go this year.
You think it's going to be? I don't know. I mean, you know what?
Yeah, because you already got Kansas City, you got Buffalo, you got the Ravens, and then you got you got who is that? You got
let's take the guesswork out of it.
Man, you got the Chargers, you got the Broncos. They all got winning records. So
the Texans are going to.
Yeah, the Texans. Yeah. So
not that one.
Cincinnati lose again. They ain't gonna make it. It's over.
No, I'm not just. You got it. Let's throw this up. Y'all can see this, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you're right. So if we're looking at the 3rd wild card, you got the division winners. There's 4 of those guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you look in the AFC West, so it's 4 of them. Okay, then the Chargers are, let's say they're in, the Broncos are 5-5. Then the next, this is 7-3 here. So you're right. They got an uphill battle, but they'll be looking at that 5-5 team or 6-3 team. Yeah. So they're still within striking distance of that third wild card. All right. So yeah. Right. So there you have it. So I mean, they still have something to play for. I guess that's the point.
Yeah, they got 2 more games to try to see if they can turn it around.
Yeah, well, yeah, they better. Well, they better get off their ass and jam. That's what they need to do. Their team is not bad. It's just that bad start hurt them. So that Charger game is going to be worth watching. So at least there's like 5 games. I watched the and one of them is at night, so that one's got to go watch all on its own. But I watch the Red Zone channel almost exclusively. I don't even watch the other channel. Anyway, so this is the AP top 10. It's still real fluid, but the top 4 kind of stays the same. Oregon, Ohio State, Texas.
Hey, just another real quick point, RP, and I was on mute there, and but just another point on Cincinnati. So we were talking about how the Cowboys have money tied up in the 2 players, basically. Cincinnati's the same way, right?
Yeah.
Therefore, they can't really spend a lot of money on their other players, and their record reflects it. So that's my analysis of why they're struggling.
Right. I mean, they could hang on to Mixon. Oh, let me. That's a side note. and this is for you, Coach, because you're gonna give me some shit for this. Is Mixon a borderline Hall of Fame player?
No.
Okay. Okay. Shoot, how about you, Coach? What do you think?
What was that?
I said the question is Joe Mixon a borderline Hall of Fame player?
No.
Okay.
He's gonna have numbers. He's gonna have to have his numbers gonna have to increase.
He would have to have another, let's say, 3,000 yard seasons, right? So another 3, maybe 4,000 yards to maybe be considered.
All right. All right. Well, let's
But
put
you
it
think
this way.
he is?
Cincinnati couldn't keep him because he priced himself out of their market, right?
Yeah. But you think he's a Hall of Famer, potential Hall of Famer?
I think Joe Mixon is underrated.
He's a good ball player. There's no doubt about it. He's a good ball player.
Yeah. So from that standpoint, I'm saying maybe he's not a Hall of Famer based on what we call Hall of Fame running backs, but he is underrated. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the boy Drew Holiday, huh?
Like Drew Holiday is going into the Hall of Fame, man. There's no doubt. Drew Holiday is a Hall of Famer, but that's kind of like what I'm coming from. But Drew is much better basketball player than they would give Mixon the credit.
Yeah.
He got 2 rings. And people can say the reason why Boston was over the hump is because he was on their team.
Yeah.
You know? So, if for nothing else, he stabilized them.
Yeah, he gave him some real leadership.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. And Milwaukee hasn't been the same since.
Milwaukee,
the reason for that is Doc Rivers.
Yeah, we can get to that. When we get to basketball, let that come back up. Because they look like they're in shambles right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not sure how that record is, but we can look at it. Anyway, so these are the games this weekend on football. You watching college football, you guys? Who's watching?
Oh yeah. I watch football.
That Ohio State Penn State games, both of them, all 4. These games are good. These are good watching games right here. The first 2, definitely, I'll probably try to put a team into that, see how Michigan does against Oregon. So I think, when's the last time the Ducks have been at the top?
Mariota.
Well, it's been a long time. I mean,
That's been a while, man.
Yeah,
that's been a while.
It's usually Oregon State, right?
It's Oregon. Oregon usually beat up on Oregon State all the time, man. Mighty Ducks. Yeah. Oregon's the Mighty Ducks, right?
Yeah.
All right. So basketball, man. The in-season tournaments began. You guys know that, and this is what the courts. The courts will look like. And one of the things I wanted to share with you is just real before we get into it. Let's go through some of the rules for the league. They're interesting. All right. The rules. All right. The cup format, right? There's 30 teams, right? The 30 teams in NFL, NBA. They're gonna be in 6 groups of 5. Okay. 3 in the West, 3 in the East. You guys know that. They're gonna play each other at least once. Right. And how to decide who advances? Of course, they have the tiebreakers because if there's no right out winner and they got to go to tiebreakers, here's the tiebreakers. Head to head, of course, point differential, total points scored in the group. Okay. The record from the previous season, and then all of those tiebreakers, a random drawing. If none of these work, then they have a random drawing. That's cool. They're not going to play any extra games. That's what they're telling. Okay, who's in each group? So these are the groups. If you were, and I didn't do this analysis, but if you look at the current standings and these groups, all these groups ain't equal. Because Oklahoma probably does, and they have the Phoenix in their group. That's tough. Oklahoma and Phoenix Suns in their group. Minnesota, they don't have man, who's really as tough in their group? Dallas has Golden State in their group, and they just had a great game yesterday,
Mhm.
right? So, and New Orleans, people are talking about trading Zion Williamson. I don't know if I trade him. The Knicks have the Knicks should win this group. Maybe Philly, but the Knicks should win that group. They could. Milwaukee, Indiana, Detroit. So Milwaukee, I don't know. I gotta look at their record. Boston has Cleveland in their group. So this
Uh,
is that's a tough. That's
Boston, Boston done lost like 2 of their last 3. So Cleveland beat them the other day.
here's some of the schedule. So anyway, so I think listen, I like the in season deal. I think that's one of the better things that NBA has done, especially during a season that gets old and drawn out. You know, they already saying guys are dropping like flies and shit. So here's the schedule so far. They just played one game last night because they started yesterday. So I'm gonna be updating this, every week, see where people are at. So that's something else to track. And those are just the top 10 games, top 10 plays in the league. I don't need to see that one. But let's just jump onto this. This was the game. I don't know who saw the game. Was it last night or the night before? It's last night.
Last night, yeah.
Did you see it?
No, I just saw the
Yeah.
highlights today earlier, but I didn't
Well,
see
okay,
the
I'm gonna
game.
go to the last couple of minutes of this thing. Oh, that was a bad shot. Terry's a son of a bitch, man.
Put him to sleep.
time hit. Curry's got a 1 point game. Foul. Get a foul. Williams leading and finally foul. Thompson picked it up. 15.9 with double team Curry.
Sure, that's the game anyway. Hey, listen, I tell you what. I mean, you know what? I had a thought when I was watching this, and maybe you guys can help me out because Curry's been doing this so long. I'm not. I don't know how to even word it. I don't want to say it's boring, but it's like, it's just like. I mean, it's what he does. It's just his greatness. It's like. Are you disappointed when he misses? Are you ever surprised when he hits it?
Yeah, when I saw that he scored 37, this morning, I said, no big deal, right? You kind of what you're saying. You kind of expect him to get at least 30 every game.
Man, the guy is amazing, man.
Yeah, and he's an old dude too. By
That's,
basketball
that's
standards.
what I'm saying. But the
Yeah.
way he plays, right?
Yeah.
He can shoot like that until he's 90. He can't. He might not be able to run to get to those spots. But how do you get
Yeah.
old when your game is based on you just being able to shoot?
Yeah.
So I mean, unlike the guys who like, for example, Russell Westbrook, whose game was purely athletic, right? So when you start losing a step, if you don't compensate in other ways, it's noticeable.
Correct.
Like
Because today's game, NBA game, is just hitting the open three. I mean, you're right about Westbrook and some of the more athletic guys. You'll see that decline pretty quickly. But yeah, most guys can still hit an open 3-point shot, no matter what your age is. So
it's just a matter of can you get to your spot? Because we
Yeah.
don't look at it, but Curry's in constant motion.
But he's one of the, he's a Reggie Miller .2. He moves well without the ball. He don't require a lot of time with the ball. Give him 3 or 4 seconds, he's already got his shot up.
Right.
A lot of guys, they have to dribble. You like, damn, pass the ball. But Steph can pass, cut. He's very smart with his shot. It's not difficult to get open like he does. He just maximizes the other players and goes around them and creates the opportunity for himself. So,
Yeah,
but
you're
he's
right.
one of
It's
the
not
greatest.
difficult, but you just gotta have the energy to move like that. That's the one thing that was underrated with Reggie Miller. It's not. I'm not surprised you mentioned him. He was constant motion, constant. And a lot of times, if you don't look at him, you kind of miss because you're looking at who has the ball, right? When you watch these games, you're usually looking at who has the ball. And so Curry, if he doesn't have the ball, but the guy's always moving.
Yeah, I don't ever remember thinking back on it, seeing Reggie Miller dribble a ball. Right? He was always moving, spotting up. Somebody would hit him, and he'd jack up the three.
Yeah, the truth is, man, he probably don't have no handle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're right,
he
man.
had handles up. He had handles up, man. He had handles.
I haven't seen him go. You're right. I can't remember him dribbling either.
Yeah.
Go back and look at old Reggie Miller film.
Right. He never dribbled the ball. He never brought the ball up the
pushing
court.
off the Knicks and scoring those last few points. I remember that.
Yeah.
He wasn't gonna take you out the dribble too much, but he was gonna catch, get one dribble or two, and spot up.
Of course, I'm only joking. I know he knows how to dribble, but I'm just saying. But really, he was a catch and release guy for sure.
Yeah, he would never bring the ball up the court. Nothing like that.
No,
Yeah.
he was a small player.
Man, I didn't know Cleveland went up to 12-0. Damn.
Yeah.
Man, they ain't playing. Sheesh. Look at the 3 teams in the West, 9-2. The Warriors got the tiebreaker. That's why they got them in front. So they do the Knicks in 5th place at 5-5. I'm not as sold on a cat deal as everybody else has been. And Cat didn't bring the other team over the hump. I don't see how he's going to bring the Knicks over the hump either. So that's just my take on it. Off season for the WNBA, the big three, baseball, hockey. So we coming down to the home stretch. I got one for you guys, and this is just nobody get mad, nobody hang up yet, but this is fun with YMCA. Got so many memes of each other. They're doing the Donald Trump. That's so
This
funny.
shit gonna be a hit over the summer.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And that dig at the end is for Kamala. That's so messed up. Oh man. So my girl Coco Golf. She made $4.8 million for this tournament win.
Salute to her, man.
Yep. And that's the Arabs paying that money for the league tournament. Let me move this up.
One perfect points in the last couple games for sure, Jen.
What more could you want? For a young 20-something just battling it out. And they'll go 3 in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in the championship round of the WTA Finals, Riyadh.
Girls are trying to win that money.
Right.
Go golf. Hey, listen, man. So listen. Yeah, when the tournament first started, they said that one of the games there was only like 400 people. That's not even 400 people, like 40, 50 people in the stadium. Right? Because this is like, I think the Live tournament that's run by the Live Sports Athletics is run by the Saudis, right? So they're just throwing money at these people, and they got like the competition for the regular, American tournaments and stuff. So they can throw this money at these players for them to come and make these things into a new, like they have the Grand Slams. So eventually they hope that this could be probably a 5th Grand Slam kind of thing. Because they got the money to do it. This is like they do with the golf, right? Some places, man, how can I leave $5 million on the table?
Yeah.
Look like I
So what?
looks like we'll be playing over in Saudi Arabia every year.
yeah, man, that's a lot of money. You can't be leaving that on the table. You just
Nah,
can't.
because the Americans wasn't paying them that much, couple, 2-3 million. So they forced them to increase those payouts too.
Exactly, because they didn't care whether it was election. I'm sure the championship game, I'm sure it was full. But if it keeps getting hotter and more stars, the people will follow. There's no doubt about
Oh
that.
Yeah.
All right, so the last thing, my man Ryan Clark. What do y'all think about Ryan Clark? I don't know how much sports shows you watch, Ramsey, but if at all.
Yeah.
You know who you guys know who this guy is?
Oh yeah, he used to play for the Steelers. I follow him. He's I think he's a good sports announcer. He's a brilliant mind. If you watch him closely, he goes everything from the heart and the head. He doesn't have a script, anything. That's one of the things that I like about him.
I think he's a pompous ass, man.
Yeah,
But you're right about his intelligence. I give you that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
But I just think
Hold up, Payne. Let's distinguish his intelligence. His football IQ is high. Yes, I give him that. His football IQ. You talking football? He can talk football. When he start getting into social issues, he's a champion feminist all day long.
just no doubt about it. But let's kind of let's look at this before I start this thing. So he goes out and he did a Dave Chappelle. I remember Dave Chappelle went on Saturday Night Live and says, "You know what? Everybody, just calm down. Let's give this Trump guy a chance. Blah 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 blah." He's on Saturday Night. I don't know if anybody saw that. It was like 8 years ago, but I remember it like it's yesterday. So and then, of course, Dave Chappelle went on, and then Trump did what Trump did for the next 4 years, and COVID hit, and then nobody, no matter what you did before that, you got COVIDized. But so Ryan Clark tried to do the same kind of thing. Oh, you know what? Let's just calm down. Blah blah blah. So the women came after him, and then all of a sudden, I think he started to look at the bag. Am I blowing the bag by saying anything nice about Trump? So here's his mea culpa to all the ladies out there and all the people who gave him shit for actually being human about it. It's
I had
nice
a
song.
couple of days to digest the election, and right afterwards, I put out a tweet saying that I respect President Trump as the president and his office. And there was a lot of pushback from my community
Or
on
the
social. I
oboe
voted
or whatever the hell it is,
for
harp
Kamala
or some
Harris,
shit.
but it reminded me of how divisive this country had gotten, how divisive this election had gotten. When did the side that candidate won feel like they won the Super Bowl? When did they brag about it? When did they boast about it? When did they throw it in your face because it was just their guy, not our guy? Or on the other side, the sadness, the depression, people truly thinking about this not being a place that they could live. Even my oldest daughter, who was visiting my parents, told me at 7 a.m. she got up and she just laid in the bed with my mother and cried. Started when we wanted to make America great again.
All right, fellas, can I ask you a question? All right, listen, regardless of who you voted for, I mean, I kind of know in my house, my wife and I, we didn't vote for it the same way. Let me tell you, neither one of us celebrated or cried because of who became president. And I think if you have a household where your lady or your daughter feels like they're because somebody became president, I think you're not doing your job. Because why would they be so impacted by something that may not even reach down to them? I mean, I can see if it was a local election or something like that. But when I hear people say, your daughter was crying because Donald Trump became president? Really? I'm just saying. I don't. You guys are. It was.
But wasn't it before? I felt like it was the greatest it had ever been. For 8 years, President Obama represented us with class and with grace and with elegance and with decency. There were no scandals, there were no impeachments, there were no felony charges, there were no indictments, there were none of these things that are unbecoming of the office. And we elected someone that ran a campaign based in bigotry and based in hate. And for those 4 years, it wasn't great. In 16, I remember someone sitting in that office calling people that peacefully protested sons of bitches. And then 2020, in his last year, it wasn't about just COVID to me. It was the most divided this country had ever been. And then I would have people tell me, well, he pardoned Kodak. Yeah, he pardoned your favorite rappers, so he became your favorite rapper's favorite politician. Does that make us forget that 4 black boys and 1 brown boy who didn't commit a crime, he took an ad out for them to receive the death penalty? And even when they were exonerated, he doubled down on it. And what's changed in this campaign? It's still the same sort of bigotry, it's still the same sort of speech. I think now the difficult part is I do understand that not everyone that supports him believes in his rhetoric. Not everyone that supports him thinks bigotry is okay. They've told me that he believes in Christian values. And it said God gave us grace for the salvation of all. For me, I'll give him that grace because I do want salvation for all people. It's going to be forever hard to respect the man. And I don't, and I won't. But I will respect the office. I want to be a sane man in an insane society. I want to be a reasonable man in an unreasonable world. So I won't be divisive. But I do hope, for all of our sakes, he understands that he's our president.
The pomposity. You know what? Listen, Rebsy, you like the guy, right? I don't dislike the guy. Some of what he said was cool. Some of what he said was just bullshit. I don't think there was any more divisiveness as it was on the other side, using misogyny and what's the term? Existential threat to democracy and all that kind of stuff. And you can't talk about Christian values when you are for a side that wants little kids to cut their genitals off. So, I'm just saying, man, if there's bullshit on both sides to go around, if we're going to just hurl insults, let's just see how the country goes over the next 4 years. I'm just happy to see more black men get off the plantation. That's all. If but was Ryan wrong about the respect thing and all that kind of stuff? That's a
Well, I think he was pretty clear that hey, he voted for Kamala, but he respects the office. He doesn't necessarily respect the man
But
because of
that's
some
true
of the
about
things that
everything. That's
he
true.
said. So I think that what he's saying is pretty well balanced. And that hey, I supported the Democrats, I supported Kamala, but I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to throw up my hands and say we're doomed. I'm still going to respect the office. But
Because
I
you got to
still don't
survive.
like what Trump is all about, though. So
That's cool. That's
yeah,
cool.
and I
But
think
how
that's
about you,
reasonable.
Fer? You still there?
Yeah, I don't feel any type of way. Um, you know, Trump, yeah, again, I agree he's an asshole. He ain't gonna say the most popular thing. However, he's not a career politician.
Right.
He can relate to black people because I think sometimes we forget he was one of the only businessmen that did business with black people in the 90s. He said some shit. He's a white guy. He's a rich white guy. Um, I think it's good in a sense because now he knows eyes are watching and he doesn't want to fail this time.
Right.
But I'm like him. I'm pro America first. We
Absolutely.
can't say we don't have money to help those in need, but then we spending trillions of dollars to other countries to support a war that we really have no business to be in. And you committing almost damn genocide because you over in Israel helping those people
Yeah, that's not going to
fight.
change Trump. That's a bipartisan support to Israel. Same with Democrats. And Republicans. That's not going
Yeah,
to.
but here's the thing, Trump, he ain't with all that. He's gonna focus on America. And I'm not mad at that. I think it's time for Americans to be put first.
So am I.
So,
And we'll
Yeah.
see. He surrounded himself by better people this time. Let's see how he does because we don't have no choice.
I don't know about that, Rich. I mean,
Well,
when you
okay.
say that,
What do you mean by that? You
so
don't think
you're
Tulsi
saying
Gabbard
that
is better than well?
Trump is surrounding himself with better people this time?
Yes,
I
he
mean,
is much better people.
I've been looking closely at the nominees, or not the
Yeah.
nominees, but the people that he selected over the last 48 hours, and it would be a hard sell for most people to get on board with some of the people he selected.
Well,
And
but that's because they're bipartisan. I mean, that's because they're partisan. I mean, like he had unknown riffraffs before, but Tulsi Gabbard is a good one. Vivek is another one. Elon Musk is our only technology leader in the whole United States. I mean, he's doing shit that NASA would take almost $1 trillion to do. He's doing as a private enterprise.
but he's got Marco Rubio. Yeah, he's a career
Well, you
politician.
guys don't like
He's
Marco
got
Rubio. I
Marco
wasn't a
Rubio.
Rubio fan. Just because you
And
don't like Rubio doesn't mean he's a bad
no.
candidate.
It's not necessarily that I don't like Rubio. It's that Rubio himself flip-flops. Both of them flip-flop on their feelings for each other. So how can you have someone who's in that position, Secretary of State, President,
Right.
who flip-flop every 6 months on "I love you, I don't love you"?
You know what?
Right.
Wait, come on, man. That's politics. They flip flop on each other.
Yeah, but
remember now, it was Harris who gave Biden a new asshole when she was running. Yeah, I mean, if you go back and look at the debate.
On the issues, but with Rubio and with Trump, it became personal.
On the issues,
it became the personal attacks, right? It's one thing to have differences on the issues.
These are men, man. Men don't hold grudges like women like that. They're bullshitting each other, man. And that was a long time ago. How long are you going to hold that kind of a grudge? I mean, men don't. I mean, you know what, man? If every time a man said something crazy and untoward to another man, if we acted like women, we would never have any friends.
Yeah, that's true. But it wasn't that long ago that Rubio was saying that Trump was not fit to be president. It was.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Right.
And now he is president. Now he is president. Then Rubio said I was wrong. He's the man now.
So
no, but
my only concern with that is when you have that love-hate relationship on a personal level, and you've got this guy as your Secretary of State. So 6 months from now, when things get heated, let's say in the Middle East or
we'll see
anywhere in the world,
right.
that personal relationship between the two could have an impact.
You're right.
All of us.
You're right, but okay, well, all right. So we don't need to project that because 6 months from now is going to come. It's gonna. I mean, if we're still around and see it, we're going to know 6 months from now. So that's how everything is. We're going to know how his presidency and how this red wave is going to work within the first 2 years.
Yeah.
So and if the Democrats don't do something different, they still not going to get back in power. Not if they keep saying the same old shit that they're saying now.
And just another quick comment though.
Go ahead.
Just about Trump in general. We talk about how he's doing business with African Americans in the 90s, but in the 70s he wouldn't rent to black people.
He didn't.
Right.
But
He would not do business in the 70s. In the 90s, he almost has to. Right?
No. Go ahead, Trey.
No, hey, brother. You know what? That's okay. The 70s. Okay, I can understand. But he wasn't writing policies and we elected Joe Biden, and Joe Biden implemented that 3-strike rule, and he was the leader in sending a lot of young black men to prison, a lot of them to prison during that time. And he,
not just one at a time. It was, and if you were with people, you were getting extended sentences.
yeah,
He destroyed the community.
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
he
the
destroyed.
Clintons were part of that too, no doubt about it.
But we listen, and we still voted them in office. We were the guinea pigs. These younger people are a little different. They built a little different,
They built
you know. So,
and their reality is different than ours in the 70s.
yeah,
But hold on for a second. Let me just kind of move on from this, because I know we could get down in this. The only thing, when people keep talking about Trump didn't rent to black people, he ran his father's organization. He wasn't the man that looked at the tenants coming in. He had people doing that for him. He had an organization of guys could be like 7 deep before you got to Trump, or who actually managed apartments. Now, did he put an edict out there, don't rent to blacks? Maybe.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like Trump was behind the desk. No, not this nigga, not that. He wasn't there.
Right.
He probably didn't
He
have none of
certainly
those
wasn't.
decisions.
He wasn't the super, to use
Well,
a New York State term.
that makes a difference, though.
He wasn't the super, but
okay. So let me
was.
give you one, Ramsey, before we go down this thing. You know, FEMA they just fired the black lady from FEMA who your boy Joe Biden said don't serve the people from North Carolina and in Florida after Helene if they have a Trump flag on their house.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right, so that's right here and now. That's not in the 70s. The black woman's on TV talking about, because they throw her ass under the bus. She should go to jail, but so should Biden and everybody else. I mean, Mayorkas at least. I mean, so we got to stop slinging one-way arrows. So the 70s, when the whole world was different, or now, today, when these guys are in need, in the forefront of that same administration giving $20 billion to a crook in the Ukraine. I mean, come on. I mean, listen, forget about it. I didn't want to go political on this, because it's not personal. We will see if he has to do something. If this red wave flops, then they're going to get their ass kicked in the election. So they got to prove. They got to show and prove. It's not a give me. It's not a give me. So we'll see. I have my own things. I'm not a big Trump guy. I just didn't like to see all the debaucherous shit that was going on the far left. That bothered me more than anything else. So anyway, so on the Swivel at the Sports Bar, this is where sports meets politics.
Yeah.
Okay, I got questions for you guys, right? Do you think it's too early to say Golden State Warriors are back in the game as championship contenders?
Well, I'm trying to think of who else is out there in the West. Of course, you got Dallas, you got Denver, and maybe OKC.
Okay,
so
here's the whatchamacallit.
So is it too early to say? Yeah, I think it might be too early to say. If I had to bet right now, would Golden State be
You get the best odds? You get the best odds right now.
I still wouldn't put money that Golden State Warriors would be in the championship game in the NBA Finals. So even though they're 9-2?
Yeah, they're all 9. It's 3-9. I would say, do you see them as one of the top 4? How about that?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I
What
mean, the
about
Timberwolves are going to come up. The Mavericks are going to come up, of course.
You heard? I know you might not be able to see this. Can you heard it, Ferg?
Repeat that out there.
Yeah. What do you think about Golden State? Do you think they got a chance to be champions this year?
If they don't run out of gas after the break, I think they'll be within at least the second round, because they older, and
There's only two guys who are old, maybe Wiggins, right?
But,
But the
but,
rest
but
of them are
that's
young.
that's the core though. Steph Curry, if Steph Curry gets hurt any point of the season, it's over.
And the other factor is Draymond is going to unravel, right? You know, well,
You're gonna get, you're gonna,
he
you
got
get
a
suspended.
technical in the first game of the season, man. You know, so
You know,
he's
this
going
is
to
all
unravel.
true. This is
Yeah.
all true. That's all true. How about Tyson Paul fight is on?
Yeah.
It's on Friday and
Friday
Netflix.
night.
Anybody got Netflix? So if you got Netflix, it's a free fight.
Yeah. I got Netflix. So
Now, you think they're gonna be pity patting each other, or gonna be trying to knock each other out?
I think Tyson is going to try to prove something, right? I mean, because he is truly a lifelong boxer, where Paul, I guess, this has just been a novelty type of thing for the
He's
last
making
few
a lot of
years.
money though.
Yeah. So I think Tyson's going to want to go out and prove, hey, I'm the real boxer here. So I think he's going to come out swinging.
Tyson, but here's my only problem with Tyson can't take a punch. That's the thing. So what you got? You listening to this, Trey Ferg? I don't know. You kind of quiet there. Yeah.
I'm trying to see that.
Trying to see what?
What you got up on the screen?
No, I'm just saying. I'm reading it to you. Tyson. The second question is Tyson fights Paul on Friday. So like, who you got?
Man, I don't care who win that shit, man. I just hope Tyson don't get hit and fucking have a seizure. He's in his 50s.
He's
It
a
doesn't matter.
lifelong boxer, man. So yeah.
Hey, man, you get hit in the head in your 50s, that's the day, man.
How old is he now? Was he like 50? What? He's like
54, 56, something like that.
Yeah. So listen, Jake Paul bulked up a little bit too. He looked like he tried to bulk up a little bit. So Tyson never was a big heavyweight in terms of weight. I mean, he probably come in like, maybe what, 210, 220, if that.
Yeah.
They say the old guys don't lose the punch though. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. I'm definitely going to tune in.
I'm gonna be watching that Friday night Netflix. What the hell, man? Anyway, the last one is going back to the Ryan Clark. Do you guys think he was sincere, or he's just trying to protect the bag?
I think he's sincere. Because I've listened to him enough where, he has a real compassionate side to him. So I think he was sincere.
I think he panders a little bit too much. I mean, I know when he came out, when the white dude said a joke about the sisters over there in England with the two jigaboos, and they were laughing, and all the black women said, "Oh, but don't protect us," blah blah. And he came out with another one of his little soft-spoken soliloquy bullshit, and then like nobody could take a joke no more. So. Said then the guys came back, they apologized. Oh, I was sorry, keep it up. I want to keep my black card. Don't take it from me, please. We black men apologize way too much. Anyway, well, that's listen, I don't dislike Ryan. I just think he's a little bit more pompous than my taste. Yeah, just a little different than how Stephen A. Smith is, because I know he definitely says shit to save the bag. He's not going to blow the bag.
Yeah.
But anyway, but his accomplishments speak for themselves. Ryan is moving up in the ESPN world. They like him. He's got his own podcast on the side. So, more power to the brother. Anyway, okay, so the Tyson fight, the Davis is fighting this guy, Roach, in December. And there'll probably be some fights in between, but I didn't see any headliners that anybody would recognize. So I'm glad there's a fight on Friday. And that's it, man. Thanks for the disclaimer, for your fair use, for all the stuff that I use. I appreciate you guys coming out.
Nice.
They're having a sports show today on the other channel first. I don't know. He's in and out. They having a sports show today on the other channel.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, look like just running behind, man, because ain't nobody really sent out nothing anyway. So people just be running behind, man.
That's cool. Ain't no big deal. Hey, listen, I appreciate you guys coming by. You listen. So this is we usually don't get into political talk, and I didn't really want to. I mean, I didn't say I didn't want to do it, but only because it's so close to an election, I thought we could just get it out of the chest, and then we could forget about it in the future. And then it's going to be show and prove from here on in. Anyway, gentlemen, I appreciate it. So thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate you guys coming up, man.
It's all good, man.
Yeah,
Shit,
no,
I
it's
can't.
good discussion.
Yeah, man. It's sports, man. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
You
put a lot of work into it. You put a lot of work.
I appreciate it. I do. And, it's been a good week. I like this Thanksgiving month. I got some family coming up. I had some procedures, that they wanted to do. I canceled all my stuff this month. I said I'm not doing anything. I got a stress test coming up.
Man,
and they wanted to do it.
You can't be canceling that stuff, Rich.
Yeah, man, take care of that shit, man.
No, hold on, gentlemen. I went through the first register. It was either do it 2 days before Thanksgiving. I got people coming into town. I don't feel like doing that then. I'm gonna do it right after that in December.
All right.
I didn't cancel it. I rescheduled it.
All right, man. We're gonna check in on you first week.
Yeah,
of December to make sure, man.
Man, they've been prodding me, and man, let me tell you, man. Just in October, I had like the first part of the stress testing. The prep man had me like, the ladies got ultrasounds of my groin and shit and everything, man. It's enough. It's get my shirt off, and they probably had nightmares all night long. So anyway, gentlemen. Hey, listen, but yeah, everybody, man, especially you get up there in age, you gotta keep those appointments. You gotta do what you gotta do. No doubt about it, man. But they got piece. I had a piss sample. I had to put it down, and the lady said, "Oh, put it over there." I said, "Well, here's my life story right there, right in that little jar of piss." So you can walk me down to the little jar right there.
Better not let your wife do that shit.
Anyway, guys, man, I'm gonna play the outro. I'll see you guys later, man.
All
right, brother.
All right, take care, fellas.
Grab your friends, it's time to play. Join the fun, we're here all day. Watch the game with drinks in hand. On the swivel, let's take a stand. On the edge of our seats, we live for the thrill. In this moment together, we're feeling the chill. So here's to the laughter as we gaze at the stars. We say goodnight from the swivel at the sports bar. In the flicker of the screens where our spirits ignite, let's cherish this time as we fade into light. Tasty bites and big screen thrills. Every moment gives you chills. High fives and cheers, it's quite a sight. Join the crowd, it feels so right. As the game goes on, our hearts beat.
See you later.
Memories in the making.
Oh man, my computer's acting up.
So here's to the laughter as we gaze at the stars. We say goodnight from the swivel at the sports bar. In the flicker of the screens where our spirits ignite, let's cherish this time as we fade into
What the hell
light.
happened?
So good night, my friends, till we meet again in this world of the game, through thick and through thin.